He comes from a lineage of great sages, yogis, and saints from India. He began his spiritual journey at the age of 7 and was fully realized by the age of 14. During this time, he delved into different practices and acquired mastery over Tantra, Mantra, Yantra, Aghori practices, and Yaksha sadhana. He was a siddha, and many masters, saints, and sages used to visit him in solitude to gain wisdom and guidance from him since the tender age. Although he has been helping humanity since childhood, he never disclosed this part of him to the world, and only the advanced yogis and masters were aware of his divine presence. Only in the last 2 years he chose few people from the world and started guiding them in their spiritual paths, and those who have been closely associated with him have witnessed many miracles in his presence. Despite being a family person, he is a yogi and intends to help people entangled in this world achieve Jivan Mukti, liberation while being alive. He is truly in the world but not of the world, and if you really want to understand him, look him beyond his physical appearance and just sit with him, and you will never be the same again. In his presence you will transcend your body and mind and experience the state of Sat, absolute truth, Chit, pure consciousness, Ananda, eternal bliss. Let us fold our hands in front of his divinity and with a heart filled with gratitude and love welcome our spiritual guru, the realized soul, and our enlightened master, Guru Meenakshi Mishra.
ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। अहं ब्रह्मास्मि। Good evening, everyone, and good morning to the people from the other part. So, quite good things like Haribhai has moved into his new house. You can see the new background behind him. Deepika ji has moved her into a new house. You can like, okay, her camera is off, but you can see the new background for her as well. Then it being a birthday today for Mrudul and Saujanya ji as well. So quite good celebrations going on, it seems. Okay. Haribhai, it looks good. Sure. So we will go with the Q&A session of 182nd. Okay. So Sumaji, please go ahead with your question.
These are questions asked by somebody, so someone else, like some kids and then some other people. So I'm
I
just
would love to meet this some person and somebody actually. Okay. Yeah, what is the question?
like, there are multiple, so let's see how many we will go today.
Oh, good. Anyways, one hand has only gone up. So good for you.
Okay. So first one is like in the Ramayana, like sorry, not the Ramayana exactly, but usually it says like Parashurama has conquered the Bhumandal, like he roamed 21 times and then he conquered the Bhumandal करके बोलते हैं ना देखा. So the question that was raised is like Bhumandal in the sense, what is it? Like, is it only India or like is it like a different map है, geography है, क्या है, कौन सा areas है? If other areas are there, then why are we not seeing any of I means like वो क्या बोलते हैं like वही देवाला को हिंदुइज्म का वो those नमूने करके बोलते हैं ना, like the fossils or something like that. So our temples or whatever it is, like the scriptures or sculpture or like idols, or we don't see anything in any of the other countries or like on the other continents, except in this India, like maybe Thailand and Indonesia, somewhere we are seeing. So this question was like asked by multiple people actually. Even some kids also raised the same thing. Like, so what is the like how to interpret that one? Like, okay, like so. So if he has conquered Bhumandal means what did he do? Means like is it like entire world, or if it is entire world, then how did he do? Because like what is the means of how did he go
Transport.
there? Why is it like these are
Means
the
of transport.
means of transport? These are things that kids ask. So
Okay. So before I take up the question, Saujana ji is there. You can bless her. It's being her birthday. You think like, okay, she's there, or the camera is not pretty clear out there for me. Okay.
she is there.
She is there. Yeah, she's there. So you can bless her at least through your message. She will see that. She is having some issues with her net, I believe. Okay. So she is there. So Saujana ji, wishing you a birthday from all the people out here, and the blessings from everyone to you. Okay, she wants to speak, I think. Okay.
Pranam Mahadev.
Pranam.
Thank you so much, Mahadev, for your wishes and blessings.
And others are also sending you on your way, you see that.
My network is not clear, Mahadev.
Okay, not
Are
an
you able
issue.
to hear me?
We can switch off the video, at least you can hear the audio.
Okay.
Yeah, the thing
Now,
is,
are you able to hear me?
yeah. So everybody is sending you messages, that's what I say.
Thank you so much, Mahadev. Thank you, all divine souls. Today is very special birthday to me because of your blessings and wishes.
It should be, so may it continue.
Thank you.
Okay.
Today morning, I felt very happy after seeing your message, Mahadev. So happy.
Oh, good. Shall
Thank you, Mahadev.
Thank you. So let's come up with the question that Sumaji has posted. Bhumandala means now we have to study the geographical structure of India. Now, what yuga are we talking of? Because Parshuram is the one who has been in many yugas. He has been mentioned in Satyuga, he has been mentioned in Treta, he has been mentioned in Dwapar. Even it says in there in Kali Yuga also.
but conquering you, that one
I'm
means
coming.
person.
That's what I'm saying. So he is actually, if you really want to understand like what Bhumandala means, Bhumandala always refers to Prithvi, Loka, means Bhu, that is Dhara, or the planet. Mandala means the area of this. So whenever we speak of, we say like this is Bhumandala. Now it is pretty obvious for the kids and all the people, those who don't know the olden geographical structure of the world. The continents were not like this, like these 7 continents were not there. They were like one big piece of land, and after that, like they broke into pieces, then they floated into the ocean, and after some time they settled down, and then these continents came into existence. So the question always comes to our mind is, how is it even possible to go around the world? What means they could have taken? You know why it feels so difficult and why so impossible? It's just like this. If I say the people, those who are right now in this world, who cannot live without the AC, the summer that we are in right now. And if we go and tell, like in this summer, we used to go to the playground at 3 p.m. and we used to play cricket. They would think like, you must be crazy. Who goes in this summer? Can you see I'm not talking about any other yuga. They are not even able to think. How do you even go and... Now let me ask you another question. Sumaji, What would you have as food when you were a kid at your home?
Rice,
And
some curries.
some curries. Can you feed that to our kids now?
Now also that is our food only. No?
But what about the apps that you have on your phone? If you say that every single morning you used to get up and you used to eat roti and good with that, jaggery, that's what. Roti and jaggery was what I used to go to my aunt's village, and there I used to eat every morning. What I used to eat is only one thing, roti and jaggery. Roti, onion. Roti, pickle. Tell them to eat now. They would come and ask you, is this food? This is what you call food? Can you see, we are just talking about some 10, 15 years of, 20 years of gap. And now, because of the things that they have with them, they think like this is not even possible. Why? Because they have been not knowing that kind of, not being in that kind of situations. How many times you might have ran bare feet on the rocks, on the mountains, on the sand? Who stopped you? Nobody. Ask them to run now.
They won't.
At least it should be a 10K, then only it should come out. I mean my shoe. Okay. उससे नीचे कुछ काम नहीं होता है. हम खाली पैर ऐसे ही दौड़ते थे.
Yeah.
Now if you ask them, go run on the rocks. Are you crazy? How do you even run on the rocks? Because they have not trained themselves on that. That's a very basic thing. So for their mind, in order to even grasp that idea that it is possible is quite difficult. How many kilometers would you walk for school? Now, if I move from you to Saroja Garu, and if I ask how many kilometers she used to walk to go to school, she would tell you another story.
Yeah.
And even when our parents used to say that we used to walk that far, I say, kaise? Cycle nahi tha kya?
Even to another city, another villages also they used to
Isn't
walk.
it? So they used to walk. If I say, at the age of like Iman, if I say he's not to ride a bicycle, he thinks twice. Who will ride? And I said, by your age, we were used to take cycle to the school and we used to go for like 6-7 kilometers to school.
Yes.
But for them, if you say, why don't you take the cycle? A bike is there, no? Car is there, no? Auto is there, no? Why? They have not been trained on that. New things have come up. Can you see the possibility of their physicality is slowly going back? If you look at it, even, okay, so let's talk about that. Everything would come into play. We will slowly move in history and geography also. Let it be another class altogether. So let's see if we know history and geography as well. So that's a very basic thing. What we have done, even they cannot do. What they are even doing might be the generation that comes next. They won't think like, how is it possible to even do that?
Oh.
Okay. The second thing that comes, have you heard of Guru Nanak Dev? How many times he has walked across India? Now, if I say he walked across India, I'm not talking about any other yuga. I'm talking about just 500 years ago. He walked across India 3 times, 4 times.
Even Kanchi Paramachari also he walked 4
Even,
times.
yes.
Like
Even
he's
then.
like around 40-50 years back only. Yeah.
Even Swaminarayan,
Mm.
he also walked across India, right? Now, if I say any of our kids to walk across India, वो बोले घर के चारों तरफ घूम ले बहुत बड़ी बात है. Because if you ask them, can you go down and get some dosa from downstairs? Why don't you order on Insta? They must bring it home. Why should you go? And if you say, I'm going to bring it, why are you going out? There is an app on your phone. Yes or no? So how things are changing? I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm saying they have not known it. So when we talk about Gautam Buddha, when we talk about the sages, when we talk about, who said that there is no glimpses of Indian culture in other spaces. Might be they have not dig it enough.
Yeah, that's
Down
what we
there
should
in
do.
Cambodia, the biggest Hindu temple that is available, that is in Cambodia.
No, in the European and US side, we don't never see those things. Never. Only
Now
in the
they're-
Asian continent we see. That's what is the
That's
doubt
what
on
I'm
them.
saying. See,
Yeah.
there is, let's say, if there is a king, he has a capital and he has other places, but he does not goes on building everything across everywhere, right? He builds one palace in one place of his location where he stays, right? And more than that, even there have been so much of similarities that could be revealed or found. The only thing is, because of the geographical changes, because of the passage of time, things might have forgotten. And even you go back and if you trace back to history, they won't say like you are from here also. Even they say we are not from here. The Aryan civilization that has traveled from somewhere else, they just settled down into the Hindu Kush and they were known as Hindu.
Yeah.
So if you go by the geographical or the historical structure, there would be gaps. Reason behind being history came into existence when somebody started writing them. What if there are something that is beyond that? What if the time has already engulfed some of its parts? So the thing is, when they say they have traveled across, they might have traveled across, but they must have a base. Let's say you have a home and you go travel across the globe. Everywhere you go, you rather bring a memorabilia from that place rather than putting something out there. So when you look at this culture has so many things in it. What does that indicate? That means wherever they have gone, they have collected things and brought it back, rather than leaving all the things out there. And at the same time, if you go by the Puranic Kathas of Shaivism, all the Shaptarishis were sent into different 7 paths. Where were they? The only thing is, slowly with the evolution, the cultural development, when it happened, they started having their own ways of worshipping, their own ways of doing things. That's where I was talking last week also. No, there is one place down there in Europe, there is still goddess Mary, what they call, but they call her as Kali, because they say that before even this was there, we were that. And because these things were not allowed, so we also called her in this name so that we still connect to our culture and we still do this. You go to Malaysia and all those things, like Asian countries that you call off, you still see the temples. You still see they do the action and drama of Ram and Sita and everything still there. So much of similarities out there in it. Now, the diversification has gone, but in the time when things were moving, you also know forceful things were brought into existence and old things were destroyed. What if here is the place, or these Asian countries that you call are the place where it has the maximum number of things available, so everything could not have been destroyed. But what if small little things were available and they were? Possible is, right? So that's what I say. When I should rather not question why it is not available there, but rather say, what a mindset it would have been that when the world was even illiterate to know what the world is, even at that time, we used to say, they used to go do the parikrama of the Bhu. Bhu means Bhugol hai, like the word that you have said means the earth itself is round. Gol ka matlab kya? Round. Who told them the earth is round? How did they knew? So looking at all these things rather than having a microscopic view, and anyways, how does it matter whether he has gone there or not? Have I dive deep into my culture to know what I am, or rather just questioning? Because if I just question without even diving deep, you know what it will become? It will become a source of, okay, I know. Or you will discard it because it is superficial in nature. So if you really want to know that, there are our own scriptures that are available. Go read them. The definitions, if you go and read even Ramayana, where Sugriva is giving a description of locations to Ram, and he sends his Banar Sena to different parts, the way it is described, you will see the similarities of the continents that he is speaking of. He has given clear-cut information about that. If you decode that, you will say, oh, he's talking about this continent, he's talking about that continent, he's talking about that continent. Not only that, in our culture, when we have spoken of, there are different kinds of oceans. Milk ocean is there. Then what you call is sugarcane juice ocean is there. Then you call as salt ocean is there. Sugar ocean is there. I can prove it they are there even now. And when I decode that, how and why they have told it that way, you will come to realize that, oh, so this is why they called it that. And everything is available even now. The only thing is, have we even taken the time to discover that? But yes, it is possible. Just like for a person who used to run marathons or who runs marathon, even now, let's say he does a 10K run, he does a 20K run, he does a 25K run or cross country. So those who run cross country, they might easily run for 100 kilometers. But if I ask anybody who sits at home, will they? So that means, how is that person able to run that 100 kilometers or 50 kilometers or even 20 kilometers? How is he doing that? Through practice. What is practice? Practice is sadhana. What do you do in sadhana? In sadhana, you gain power. What is the power that a runner has gotten by his sadhana of running every single day? He can run faster. He can run as far as he can. ये शक्ति है ना? यही साधना है ना? So in whatever way, whichever way you do your sadhana, you start doing that. And coming to a like the Stone Age kind of thing. We all know we didn't know how to grow crops and grow food. Before that, we all were hunter-gatherers. That's what they call it. मतलब शिकारी, जो शिकार करके खाते हैं. So if we are hunter-gatherers, look at us compared to a deer, compared to any other animal. Neither we are as fast as them, neither we are as strong as them, neither we have those kind of nails and horns and anything on us. Then how were we able to even capture them? How were we able to run like them and capture them? Because if you don't run, you won't get the food. If you don't get the food, your survival is at stake. So that means at that time, how fast the people might be, how far they might be running, because they didn't know the way how to cultivate food. Because the moment they started knowing how to cultivate food, they started settling down. But before that, they were like nomads and hunter-gatherers. So they used to run from place to place to place in search of food. So how much would their pace be? If I say, can you run like a deer? Can you run like a cheetah? This is not impossible. It's impossible until you run a Ferrari. Then only you can catch up. But a person, if I ask you to run, but those people used to, right? So now all the things that you even see, let's say Ravana used to sit on a chariot and it used to fly. Now you call it as Lufthansa might be. Now you might be calling another aircraft name, but you sit, you fly. Rather, I would say they still had much better technology, because now we have to sit in a very clumsy seat and sit there and tie our seatbelt. Ravana was dancing in his chariot, it seems. He used to sit, sing and go. So we are yet to discover that kind of space might be. Whatever we say, whatever the missiles, the weapons, that whatever we are going to see right now, even the artificial intelligence, from where is it coming from? Everything. So that's where The culture is something that has been missed in between. So we have to. And I would say, even if there was no indication that they were there, I would love to create one today. So that the next when they come, they won't ask why it is not there. Might be they had left that work for you. Will you do it? Because that will take enormous responsibility on your shoulders to do that. Are you ready to take that kind of responsibility? You should thank those souls, those who have walked across at least the Indian continent. They took that pain, they walked bare feet. If you go and see that story of Swaminarayan, Neelkantha Varni, if you look at him, what kind of tap he has done? For whom? All these sages, all these great beings that you have heard of, why they used to travel? Because of themselves or for you? That was the responsibility that they have taken. Now just think of, they never went out of their home and everybody stayed at their home only. Even India would not have been known. So yes, in evolution, we grew stronger, and now with evolution, we are becoming weaker at a physical level as well. So these all physical activities seem to be very, very, it looks like it is not possible. Go and ask them to read the story of Rana Pratap. What was his height? What is the weight of his sword? What kind of clothes he used to wear? That is still available, right? If somebody has to lift a 20 to 25 kg sword, what kind of hand he should have? कितनी शक्ति होनी चाहिए हाथ में कि एक 20 किलो का तलवार उठाए हाथ में? So what is happening is we are only able to match up. See, again, it is not wrong on their part. They have not known it. And you know what? In this yuga, as we know, like slowly, the lifespan is also shorter. You see, we have already discussed, like, the longer the kid stays in the womb of the mother, the longer the life it becomes. I tell you a very funny thing right now, might be you will understand. Have you heard of now what they call a stem cell? What are they doing with that? They're preserving the initial, that liquid, they're preserving it, so that if something happens, they will check with the DNA and whatever it is. Go and ask your grandmothers, might be. You know what they used to do? What they call a stem cell preservation right now. Earlier, you know, the navel point that that falls off, when that umbilical cord falls off,
They used
what
to
did they used to
preserve it.
do? They used to preserve that. Where would they preserve that? They would bring a small little kavach kind of thing, in that they would put that. Why would they put that? They would put that in there if sometime the person gets ill or got into some disease that is not curable, they will just pull it out, rub it on something and make him eat it. Within few days, he would get fit. Why? Because that small little thing had the entire genetical correction methods ingrained in that. Now we call it as stem cell therapy. We didn't know all those things, might be, right? The only thing is, what comes from the shadow of science becomes true. But what if our sages were the greatest scientists that the world has ever known? Would they not have been the scientists of their own times?
Obviously.
Then the only thing is, their dress does not look posh. They were not sophisticated labs, might be. Because for them, their labs were not limited to rooms and test tubes. The creation was their lab. So we are yet to know their greatness. We are yet to understand what they were. And yes, When it is said that they have traveled across, it really meant that they have walked across. And what was the means? They were that fast, they were that strong that they could easily run across. And it does not come like a folklore, right? It has been mentioned at many spaces. And yes, who knows? Like ages after ages, people find something new somewhere, and again they say, oh, this is the oldest. Then again they find something, oh, this is the oldest. Somewhere else, somewhere else, somewhere else it is found. How about that evolution of the earth has happened in such a way that whatever was there has already uncovered under the soil of it. Now, if I say, ask a very simple question, that we used to say that in the Stone Age, dinosaurs were the ones, those who ruled the world. Yes. But why don't I find fossils of dinosaur in India? मिला है कहीं? हरी भाई, any fossils of dinosaur in India? So I would say if dinosaur fossil is not in India, dinosaur were not there. चलेगा? No, अगर डायनासोर रूल करा तो डायनासोर का फॉसिल होना चाहिए ना. It is not there. It's just like that. If they have traveled, why they don't have anything out there? First and foremost thing, what kind of thought it even takes to think that he has traveled across the world not one time, 20 times. 18 बार 20 बार वो चक्कर लगाया है. What is that? Can you even think of it? So first and foremost thing, we have to rise up to that space. You asked a question, I answered. But now, don't discard it what I said. Now go dive deep into that what I'm saying. And I would like to listen from you that why it is not there. Because again, it's a very simple thing. One tsunami comes, the face of the earth changes. If somebody didn't knew how to dive deep into water, द्वारका का था बोल के कोई मानता भी नहीं था. And the same thing has been done, like the ocean water came and Dwarka drowned. Who would have believed all the stories if they could not have find it? So someday, might be somebody will find even the remnants of all those in those places. They will come to know. So the thing is, let us take the responsibility till then to make sure we create at least something that the next generation, when it comes and says, where is it? Then you say, although it was not there, we created it. So I can dive further deep into geographical structures and historical events. And like I used to secure very good in history anyways. So if I sit and talk about history, I will again take a history session altogether. So Sumaji, it's all about, in a simple one-liner, we have to believe them. Why? Because if I cannot believe, see, I will discard that.
It's not a doubt or anything, it's their curiosity, like
That's what I'm saying. If curiosity is there, I'm saying all these things. The only thing is it will ignite it further. Don't drown it in doubt. That's what I say. Okay.
And one more thing connected to this one, posted so many times by people is, we say the Hinduism is the oldest ancient culture or ancient thing. Okay? So it exists even, this is the only one exists like that we can say, because we know like Christianity and all those things came like in the Kali Yuga, right? So that this question also was posted by the kids only. So in the Treta Yuga and Dwapar Yuga and all, so think like all those countries were there, but maybe in the different geographical picture, but Europe and US, everything is there. So what did they follow? Because we know Christianity, we are saying Christianity came like around 5,000 years back or something like after the Christ or something.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
what did they do before? What did they follow? So did they follow Hinduism, or is the Christianity already exists there parallelly,
Yeah.
but it came to light only after Jesus has come up? So
Okay.
this was a question.
Okay.
This was their
So
some-
even if you know there are 6 established religions in this world, 6 established, that is mainstream religion. That you will find that Hinduism is older. Is my voice still there? It's for a
Yes.
message. Okay. So what does that mean? Even just to see in the 6 main religions that is accepted by the world, still Hinduism is old because it comes from some other place, means beyond them. And after that, everybody has started. We are not going into that. First and foremost thing, Hinduism cannot be a word. Ism means something that you follow.
Yeah.
When it is comes as ism, ISM, that word jo wahan pe, that suffix is added, it means something to follow. So whoever follows whatever religion, that ism comes into play. But Hinduism is something, it is not a religion, but based on the Hindu Kush where the people settled. That's why we don't never, if you go by historical even chapters, you will be stunned by seeing that this Hinduism word was first coined, I believe, like 800 years ago or something like that.
Okay.
Before that, there was no word even called as Hinduism. Historical study on that, you can go read that. That was the first time that word was used. But we never told we are Hindu. We always told we are Sanatan. What is Sanatan? The one that has been and is and will be. Something, it is not a ism, means it is not a religion, but it is a way of life. Even if you go to Sikhism, they will obviously, I was traveling with them and I said, do you call it a Sikhism? They said, no, Sikhism, it is not ism. People have coined that word, but it is not ism because Sikh, ek meaning, the Sikh ka jo meaning hai, means learning. So they keep on learning. How can you say that that ism can add it to that particular word? What a great thought. So that's how, even when we call it as Hinduism, it's not the right word to speak. It's Sanatan. Why Sanatan? Means that was prevailing. Why do I say it is the oldest? Why do I say this is prevailing? As simple as that. What do you believe yourself to be? We all say we are Atman. Which other culture speaks of that? Think again. You can say Aham Brahmasmi. Which other culture says that? Now tell me, even before you knew something called as God, even any ritual was brought into action, even anything was told as a mantra, the first realization would have been what? I am not this body, I am not this mind. So the first culture is what? I know I am the Atman which is beyond this body. And don't you think that's how the realization must have come? Now tell me, because without knowing the Atman, you cannot know the God. Which culture talked about Atman first? Think. Because for every other thing, there is somewhere there. But for us, it is this. Right? So might be the way that it has evolved. Can I say that because Krishna took birth in the northern part of India, he should not be worshipped in South India? Because he never spoke. Do you think Krishna ever spoke Telugu? No, right? Then how are you worshipping him?
उनका कोई लैंग्वेज नहीं है
है ना? हाँ, उसका पूजा करने का कोई तरीका है? There is no way. So the thing is, everyone had a love towards that divinity. Means वो उसको इतना मानते हैं कि उसको अपना लेते हैं. And that God also embraces you in such a way that there is no barrier for him. He does not say, oh, you should not call me, you should call me Krishna, not Krishna. You should call me Ram, not Rama. But you do that. So look at not even far off places. In India itself, there is so much of diversification.
Yes.
Yes. So when we are talking about like, how come? Just like the ritual that you follow, the ritual that I follow, the ritual that all the different part of India, the culture that they follow, the same day, like recently Bihu, then Baisakhi, then Gudi Padwa, then Sankranti, all these things come together at one day. But everybody is celebrating at a different way, in a different culture. They cook different food, they celebrate it differently. Like Haribhai is celebrating his new house, sitting together and looking at each other. So that's how I say. So in India itself, there is so much of diversification. Yes or no? Can I say, because there is diversification, they are not worshipping the same God? Because the processes are different, they are not caring for the same God. Because the language is different, the God different. God becomes different. Can बोल सकते हो क्या आप ये सब बातें? So that's why I say, when I say like Sanatana is something that is beyond. What is Sanatana? That has been, is and will be. The Atman has been, is and will be. Deny करके बताओ मुझे. See, culture might come and go down. Mayan culture, Egyptian culture, right? They came, they did great things, then disappeared. Similarly, religions will also pop up, stay, and again go off. But what has been, is, and will be. और ये ज्ञान किसके पास? That itself would prove that Sanatan is the oldest. Because it is as old as you are, as old as the Atman is. Yes or no? So now tell me, when did the Atman started? आत्मा कहाँ शुरू हुआ? क्योंकि सनातन आत्मा के साथ शुरू हुआ है. Because that word itself speaks of something, right? And that word is nothing else but me. That word is nothing else but you. And even every person in every culture, they are all that. They can deny God, but they cannot deny themselves. So Sanatan किसे कहते हैं? That was, is, will be. So which one is the oldest then? Think. I can be a messenger, I can be son, I can be a relative of God. But I am God. Yeah. That's what I say. That's why, see, the kind of knowledge that you carry. Because we all know, even to discover a certain kind of knowledge, it takes time. Make sense? आप कुछ पढ़ाई करते हो, देखो 10th पास करने के लिए भी 10 साल पढ़ाई किए. In order to gain knowledge, you have to invest time and you study, then only you know, right? Can I ask a very logical question? Which culture has the highest number of Devis and Devatas recorded?
which culture has the maximum number of writings available, which culture has the maximum number of Mahapuranas, Itihasas, even Lekhanas, even books on different variety. Which one? See, the older the culture becomes, the wiser or the more knowledgeable they become, and with their more knowledge, they start writing more and more things. Which culture has the highest number of things recorded? So which should be list? If you want to prove it in a scientific way, I'll prove it that way also. If a kid is born tomorrow and I say today, whatever he says, what will he say? He will say Dada, Papa. But if a person who has studied, he has done philosophy, if you ask me, he will speak loads about anything. Yes or no? Why can't that small little kid talk about that philosophical talks? Because he's yet to evolutionize. He's yet to learn. And that's why his ideology is limited. He is playing with the spoon and the thali. What would he understand like Haribhai driving a luxurious car? You might say, but he's happy. Okay, but that's what also we taught you. So now, Sumati, which one is the oldest?
No, it's not about which one is oldest. Their question is like all these religions emerged later, but this dharma, because we say Hinduism is not a religion, we call it as a dharma, Hindu dharma, right? So this was the oldest we know. So does those people also used to follow the Hindu dharma?
Correct.
Or what they used to follow? Because we don't find it any
Right, right. See,
so that's the question they have.
initially, there was no concept of binding into a certain rule. For example, nowadays whatever property we buy, we draw a boundary around it, right? बाउंड्री बना देते हैं ना, जो भी जमीन खरीदते हैं, नहीं तो कोई और आके बैठ जाएगा. ठीक है? I remember my great grandfather, he used to say, as far as you see, that land is yours. जितना तक, क्योंकि we belong to a Chaudhary family, they say, जितना दूर दिखाई देता है वो पूरा जमीन तेरा है. Now how would I go and draw a line there? Let alone that my great grandfather, beyond that, might be much few generations before that. Do you even think they would have carried, like, even worried about putting a boundary, or this is my land, that is your land? All these things come into existence when scarcity kicks in. When in abundance, do you know, like, even if you go and read our scriptures, there will be mentioned that on the streets of India, जो भारत कहते हैं, वहां पे सोने के पत्थर लेके बैठते थे रोड साइड में बेचने के लिए. Why? Because that was so cheap. Abundance was there. But later on, slowly when that scarcity kicked in, you started drawing lines. अभी तो 1 इंच छोड़ने को तैयार नहीं है लोग. तूने 1 इंच ज्यादा बड़ा करके घर बना दिया मेरे ऊपर, ये 1 इंच हटाओ, है ना? Why that they are fighting for that inch? Because they think once inch is gone, that inch is not going to come back. So that scarcity has kicked in. That's why in the initial phases, there was no such way or organized way of doing it. It was available, it was prevalent because it was a way of life. Now, do you think in any culture that has prevailed even earlier, even though they were hunters, even though they used to kill animals and eat it, I think like majority, all of the humanity would have been non-vegetarian at that time because they didn't know any other thing. But in that space also, did they love their kids? Did they care for their family? कोई पढ़ाई नहीं किया उन्होंने. Nobody taught them social knowledge. Nobody told them you should take care of your family, but they used to do that. What made him do that? This is what I call the way of life. Way of life means जीवन जीने की शैली. Earlier, we used to call it way of life, and later on, we started giving them a name to it. Why? Because I saw how would I connect with my people? This is my people. So all these signs, signatures, names all popped up. Just like ये विला का नाम ये है, ये घर का नाम ये है, ये कुंज विहार है, ये राधा रमण रेत ये है, ये हनुमान वाटिका है. You started giving names. How do you differentiate that? Because scarcity has started kicking in. Scarcity of not only the things out there, scarcity within this. मुझे लगता है कि मेरा जो है वही सर्वश्रेष्ठ है. You know why? It's a psychological thought. You know what psychological thought is? Has it happened to any one of you? You were not willing to buy something. Let's say you went to the shop, you were not willing to buy it. But somehow the shopkeeper told you, no, this is okay, you can take it. You know that that cloth is not good enough, but you bought it. You know what happened? The moment you bought it, you became the advocate of that. Now, if somebody else says that this is not a good cloth, you say, no, you don't know it. Means the moment you accept something, no, you become the advocate of it. Just like this, you have accepted Aham Brahmasmi, you have become an advocate of it. Yes or no? कोई अगर इसके खिलाफ कुछ बोले, ऐसा कैसे बोल सकते हो? क्यों नहीं बोल सकता? भाई वो उसका सोच है. It is their thought. You know why we fear? What is that fear? What I have accepted as right, if they are not accepting, that means he is my enemy. Yes or no? होता ही नहीं होता है. सोचो, it's a practical way of understanding. Every aspect of life goes in that way. And you know what? The thing that you accept, it becomes beautiful.
That is there.
Until you have accepted it, it is ugly. That's where everything comes into play. It's a psychological game. So that's where I say, whatever you have accepted, you become an advocate of that. Just socho. That's why I'm not talking on the names of a religion. Or else I can segregate every religion in such a way that you will say, ye kya hai? But that is their way. They are advocating it because they have accepted it, because they fear that they might be wrong if they don't fight for it. Or in this world, the reason behind every fight is I am right. दुनिया में जितने झगड़े होते हैं, what is the reason? I am right. सब कोई वही करते हैं. But just see, let's say there was one person in this religion, went to that religion, suddenly he becomes an advocate of that religion. You don't know what good things are there in it. All that you are seeing is all nonsense out there. Yes or no?
Yes.
So it is.
I have come across such people, and then they started arguing this, and then like, yeah.
You know why? See their fear that they have. The fear is very simple. They are not fearful of losing that. They are fearful, what if they are wrong? It's like being an atheist. Throughout its life, it has never believed in God. And when he is on the deathbed, he's now thinking, what if I was wrong throughout my life? Let me check if God is there or not. That's how it happens. Because your mind plays. What's your role in that? My role is to make sure the mind learns the right things, accesses the right things, learns the right things, passes on the right things to others. Because once you have clarity, you will not work as an advocate of that. आज आभा जी बड़े खुश हो रहे, बोले कितने बार हमारे बारे में बात किया जा रहा है. That's how it is. हाँ उषा जी, आभा जी एडवोकेट है, आपको पता नहीं है. हाँ आज पता चला. देखा, ज्ञान मिले तो कैसे मुस्कुराहट आ जाती है चेहरे.
But sometimes it feels like if we don't advocate about that, then people don't, like it is going like in a wrong way or something like that. Sometimes it really needed that we should stand for what we are saying. Because I don't want to take the name, but I have come across, means I was speaking with one person and means like one teenager, and then the teenager was telling me like, the some people are there who converted into who came to ISKCON, okay, and then they became a devotees of ISKCON, and then that kid is complaining like the way they say things about Krishna are like they force things on people. Like really, I don't think like it was never spoken in our Sanatana Dharma, and then they simply say those things loud, loud and loud, and then they shout, and then they are giving a wrong impression to others about the Krishna and everything. And then that kid says like, I don't know how to communicate properly to them also. But I know because I belong to, at least I know something. So Krishna is not in like that. But those people have an entirely different interpretation. And
Ask
then
him
they
to
get
start
so
his own
big.
movement.
And they are.
Ask him to start his own movement.
Well, I don't know whether that kid has that or not, but yeah, so like this, what is happening is because they are in the teenage and level, so sometimes they are getting a little really frustrated also, like because if you are not able to stand up to your thing because you are not able to support it completely because you have become alone or like maybe you don't have a proper knowledge about it or something, so another person is like with a raised voice, if they are saying even the wrong thing also becomes right after certain time if they are saying it in a raised voice. So that kid says like then people will have a different meaning about Krishna, right? Like say what Krishna is entirely they are changing. Entirely they are changing the meaning. So what people will think about Krishna? So his worry is what people will think about Krishna.
Now, how much that kid must be loving Krishna that he's doing the advocacy for him somewhere.
Yeah.
That's good. See, rather than just saying that what Krishna would think, you could see that they are shouting like that because the people out there might be understand that way.
But giving a wrong impression about Krishna is also like.
Can you give a wrong impression about Krishna in any way?
But what
is it possible? See, all that happens, Sumaji. And many of us have chosen to be on in the path of spirituality. Many of us were pushed into spirituality. Many people were allured into spirituality. Many people didn't have any other way, but they entered spirituality. Right? So the path has been different. But the only thing that needs is, it does not matter how you started your journey. All that matters is, are you on the right path? If you have chosen your path right, if your guide is right, that makes all the difference. And in this world, can you change everyone? You know why you feel that जब कभी ये बच्चे कहते हैं ना, whenever a kid says that way, you should be very happy about them. You should say, see what grace Krishna has on you, that you are ready to fight for him. कितना प्रेम होगा दादा? So rather than fighting, utilizing that energy out there, yes, keep your voice, say what you have to say. But before that, equip yourself with knowledge so that when somebody asks you a question, you have the answers to say. Or else they will subdue you with their knowledge. So कहते हैं ना कि before you become a teacher, you should be a student. The better the student, the better the teacher. किसी को कुछ सिखाना है ना, सीखो पहले, डूब जाओ कृष्ण में, फिर देखना कृष्ण ही बताएगा कैसे ठीक किया जा सकता। और उसने किस किस को ठीक नहीं किया बताओ। उसे he knows how to deal with the things. किसी को उंगली में उठाना है और किसी के उंगली पे नाचना है, उसको सब पता है। So he knows. Good. So what next?
Next one is about the what we call like superstitions. We can say, I don't know what to say exactly also, because so many things we believe in, like we say like, okay, if you do this one, this will happen. If you do this one, this will happen. Right. So exactly. So the doubt here is like some people say like, okay, if you live on the east side, it is good for you. For your means like nakshatra means like for the star or whatever it is you are born in, so it is good for you. And then some people will say like, okay, if you live in south side, it is good for you. And some say like when you are going out, you should first go to some direction. Means like first you should turn to some direction and then only you should go to the other direction. You cannot directly, especially if you are staying in a west facing house, then you should not directly go turn to the left directly. First you go to the right side and then turn to the left, something like that. So many things.
No, let me think, because I always do that, I think. हमारा तो आज तक कुछ बुरा नहीं हुआ.
नहीं, so like this, like cat cross the street, all these things they were like crow, like so many things there.
Cat तो पहले स्ट्रीट में चलते थे, आजकल डायस पे चलते हैं.
No, like this, so many things we say, like we follow and we tell also like, okay, no, you should not do this one, you should not do that one, करके बोलते हैं. Because for most of the things, we don't know what is the internal meaning behind that, why the elders have spoken that one, why they are restricted us, because that reason was not communicated properly. So nowadays, if we tell that to the kids also, they are thinking like we are just saying like that, we are just making it up. Like, because if we give the proper reason, definitely they will understand and they will follow.
True that. Because
But so
first, go ahead.
the question is here, if some people they follow it and they go, but for the people who don't follow, will the impact will be there or not? If it really exists.
एक दिन सुधा जी ने कहा था कि तुम जहर जान के पियो या अनजाने में, असर तो होगा, है ना? Whether you knowingly drink poison or unknowingly drink poison. Poison बोलेगा अरे unknowingly पी लिया, छोड़ देते, नहीं मानते. Is it okay? Then he is not doing its dharma. In this world, everything does its dharma except us. You know why? Because God has given us so much of buddhi, we can manipulate it. What all have we not manipulated?
So is it not based on the belief that we do? Like if we are believing strongly into something, usually we say like whatever we believe, based on that it will happen or something like that. So if the belief is strong, then only like all those things, if we are particular, then they show the effect always.
See, I'll tell you in a very, very scientific, very, very simple way to make understand the kids. Tell them, first and foremost thing, write it down on your forehead. Whatever has been told in Sanatana Dharma is science. The only thing is, we don't understand that. How? Why? Example. You say a kid who just came from school, young kids, not the grown-ups, they have understood that anyways. Small little kid, they'll come running. They do like this. They eat without washing their hands. What do you tell them?
Wash your hands.
Why you should wash your hands?
Because they have to be clean, otherwise they will fall sick.
Why will they fall sick?
Because their hands are dirty.
And why are the hands dirty?
Because of their acts.
Because there are germs. Now the kid says, shows you your hand. Where is the germ? Show me. What would you tell? Think again. I'm not telling anything from even the deep things. I'm just simply asking you a question.
This is not about the kids. I'm talking about the elders also. Like what
No, I'm
exactly is
coming
it like?
there only. No, I have seen many elders, those who are still kids. They only believe what you see. Have you ever seen a microbacterium on your hand? How do you believe that a microbacterium exists?
Because science has to tell
नहीं
to
नहीं, कैसे बिलीव करे अभी बताता हूँ. हाथ नहीं धो के खाए, पेट में दर्द हुआ, उसके बाद समझ में आ गया कि हाथ धो के खाना चाहिए. जिस दिन पेट में दर्द होगा वो सब करने के बाद खुद लाइन में आ जाएंगे. मीन्स एक्सपीरियंसिंग इट ऑन योर ओन सेल्फ. आप मुझे कहो देखो मैं ना बचपन में ये खाया था बिना हाथ धोए, मेरा पेट दर्द वाला है. लेकिन जिस दिन उनको हुआ, और एक बार नहीं 2-3 बार हो गया, बस आपको बोलना नहीं पड़ेगा, हाथ अपने आप धुल जाएगा. Yes. So there are certain things when we say that, let's say, don't cut your hair on Tuesdays. क्यों नहीं काटना चाहिए?
वही पूछ रहे like if
That's what I'm saying. Everything has a science behind that.
So what is it like? Why means like
Now I have to take a session on superstitions versus science.
But I think it should be good session only ना, because for the kids we can better समझ सकते हैं उनको. Because you and this weeks also
You know
you
what kids
said
say?
Tuesday. In our side, means like we say like Tuesdays and Fridays we should not cut the nails. You should not cut
Everywhere
the hair.
it is the same thing. Every Tuesday and Friday you should not
Fridays.
cut. That's what they speak of.
Yeah. And then they say like night, if it is like after sunset, you should not cut nails and then the hair.
To not
that
put
is also.
oil in there. I still remember my one of my maternal grandmother used to say that you don't put hair oil on the head in the night, and my sister used to put that, and ghost will come, you know. रात में तेल लगाओगे तो भूत आएंगे, भूत. मुझे आंसर समझ में आ गया. मैं तब भी बोला था कौन भूत आएगा मुझे पता है. बोला क्या? मैं बोला यही अगर रात में उठ के ऐसे बाल खुले करके घूमेगी, तुम ही देख के डरोगे, उसी को भूत कहोगे, इसीलिए कहते हो भूत आएगा. So when it comes to all these things, our understanding has traveled into such subtlest levels of life that it understands the smallest of the vibrational frequency, and based on that, all these rules were created. For example, Tuesday. What is Tuesday? How does the name came into existence? Mangal. What is Mangal? Mangal is a graha. Why did they call upon in this name? Why there is a sequence of this? Why after Sunday comes the Monday? Sunday क्या है? रविवार. सोमवार मतलब चंद्र. मंगलवार ग्रहण मंगलवार. बुधवार. All these are nothing else, not just the names. These are all the planets. Why have this name come into such existence? Because on those days the alignment of planets are so well that जब हम चौगाड़ा देखते हैं, जब हम होरा के बारे में बात करते हैं, every planet is moving, and based on their placement along with the sunlight, they create a particular kind of impact. That's why these names have come to the days. ऐसे नाम इसलिए दिए गए हैं क्योंकि उस दिन उस ग्रह का प्रभाव पृथ्वी के ऊपर ज्यादा रहता है. और सब जो ग्रह हैं, they also have their chemical formulations. They have a different kind of, when a sunlight mixes with a certain thing, it creates a certain kind of result of that, right? It's just like this. If I put water in the sunlight, after some time it will just heat the water. But if I take a paper and put a reading glass in front of that, the same sunlight will burn the paper. It's science. Now, suddenly, if I say You should not have thick glasses in your wall, like in your houses, because the light might ignite fire. Then you say, what madness? But just think of, if the sun rays fall in a particular direction when it is high, and the glasses that you have used are like those reading glasses, what would happen?
Fire.
Fire hoga na? Why? Now we have understood that because of science, so we say, oh, no, ye hoga. But if I say that there is an impact of Mangala on all of us as a humans, you say, but बंदर के ऊपर नहीं गिरता, दूसरे जानवरों के ऊपर कोई राहु केतु नहीं चलते, हमारे ऊपर ही क्यों चलते हैं? See, all these questions will come into existence. But everything has an answer. Why it has an impact on you is because of the consciousness that you have developed. What happened with our consciousness? Our connections with those things happened much better. And when the connection has happened, the impact also surpasses. Now, जैसे हमने देखा है कि सूर्य ग्रहण जब होता है तो खाना इतने समय से पहले नहीं खाना चाहिए.
नहीं खाना चाहिए.
They say that, right? What is the reason behind that? What is the reason? क्यों नहीं खाना चाहिए? क्यों कहते हैं कि वहां उस समय पे कोई खाना रखना भी नहीं चाहिए? ग्रहण होने के बाद नया खाना बनाओ.
Because the rays that comes at the time, they are not good for, and then they are, if we
Why?
consume it, then we get
Because on the
indication.
moon surface, the kind of chemical reaction that is happening and the rays of the sun are coming and falling directly on the earth, that is not good for digestion. That will have poisonous impact on our food. So what did they said? Itna der pehle mat khana.
But in other countries, they don't follow this for the eclipses and all.
See,
So,
other countries. Reason is the geographical condition same for them? I would say, like, I have not seen so much of skin diseases in India, but in US,
it's worst.
Worse, right? But if I say, why only in US? पक्का पाप किए होंगे इसलिए इतना सारा कुछ हो रहा है. मैं अगर बोलना शुरू करूं तो?
No, that is because they most of the time they means they are not exposed to the sun directly. That's why they get so many of the
So
diseases.
now you have a scientific answer. That's why you can say that. But if I didn't have the scientific answer, मैं बोलूंगा बहुत पाप किए होंगे इसलिए skin disease होता है.
No. So the question here is, so in the other countries, they don't follow this one. So in those times, if they consume the food, definitely they will get some issues, but they don't know this that happens because of this. Is it so? That is the question.
That. The thing is, earlier, the humans were completely dependent on the nature. Because they were completely dependent on the nature, they had to consume the food that is outside, that has direct impact on it. That's why they used to stop it. But now you have freezers, refrigerators, deep freezers, and under that, I don't know, like bunkers. In all that you keep a food, what will happen to that? Nothing will happen. And more than that, that impacted those people because they ate something fresh. They ate something that is naturally available. When was the last time you did that? We have eaten so much of poison, now it does not matter. It's just like a person who has eaten poison throughout his life. Now the snake bites him, the snake dies. I have seen a person. In my childhood, there was a person who used to cut the tree. Every time he eats anything he gets. Even I'm seeing, one day I saw he was cutting a tree, a snake came and bit it. And he was in so much of, intoxication, that snake died in front of it. सांप मर गया उसको काट के. So what is that? It has a subtle impact on us. But now we have slowly moved out in that space. We have sophisticated things all around us. पहले सोचो धूप होता तो लोग क्या करते थे, आम के पेड़ के नीचे जाते बैठ जाते थे। आप क्या करते हैं?
Yes.
क्या करेगा बताओ? सूरज भी सोच रहा होगा इतना गर्मी कर रहा हूं फिर भी इम्पैक्ट नहीं हो रहा है, कंबल ओढ़ के सो रहे। So evolution. What has life changed? What has things have changed in us? All the things are changing with the way we have started understanding and tackling those situations. Yes, certain things are no more relevant to us right now. Just like a cat crossed the road, right? Earlier, that was an indication that the cat crosses or runs away seeing certain things. That's why you should not.
But in those cats also, especially they means like I hear my grandfather used to say, black cat. With the black cat crosses, then they think like it is not good, and then they used to
Kala
stop
means
that
they
travel
used to
also.
think like black depicts kala, means death.
Okay.
So that's why they used to say that you should not. And more than that, in Tantra, they use black cats for certain worships. So whenever that black cat crosses in front of you, they think might be somebody has done something on you. So that's why it is crossing your road. And if you go, it will be a failure. So there are so many aspects of that.
So are these things based on the geographical structures also there that we have to
It will
believe or
change.
not
No?
believe?
It will change. Just think of.
Because in Singapore, if you see every inch, you will see a cat. Even like cats are there everywhere in Singapore. So if you think like that, then we can never step out of the house.
बेचारे क्या करते, वो लोग घर में ही बंद जाते फिर।
Because if you step out of the house, you will see cats everywhere. So it's like then we don't consider all those things and we just go and walk. So
That's what I say. Geographical culture. If you look at when you go to a temple, आप प्रदक्षिणा करते हो ना? You do it clockwise or anti-clockwise?
we do clockwise.
Clockwise. Why? Because the impact that can be created here is in a clockwise fashion. You know, a funny thing, you have taps at your home, right? Taps, not cats. Any one of your houses has a tap that opens anti-clockwise. सोचो फिर से, देखा इतना भी हेतु नहीं है आप. You don't even know that. No, all our, now I am not talking about now the lever ones. I am saying the rotating ones. By default, you will come to a realization that all the taps actually rotate clockwise. Yes or no? हाँ, अभी डिजाइनर्स आ गए, वो कहीं पे भी घूम जाते हैं. बट आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट ए रोटेटिंग टैप. आप जैसे भी खोलोगे, आप देखो अभी याद आ जाएगा. हाउ डज योर लॉक ओपन?
Anti-clockwise में open होता है ना. We turn it like this.
think of again. ऐसे मोड़ नहीं रहते, ऐसे मोड़ते हो.
Because अभी तो सब ऐसे वाले तो
हाँ, सब ऐसे ऐसे हो गए वो सब. आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट Godrej that you bend like this. See, why I'm saying all these things is certainly you have to understand a process of that. I think it is I have to recheck that if it is Australia or anything, might be Sudhaji might tell it, because she has both people, one in Australia, one in New Zealand. There is one place where the taps would open anti-clockwise, not clockwise. Because of the movement of that particular place. Means cosmic energy flow. अगर वहां कोई मंदिर में जाओगे तो आपको एंटी क्लॉकवाइज घूमना पड़ेगा. क्लॉकवाइज घूमने से आपको फायदा नहीं होगा. Why? Because of the way it is. For example, if I say, अभी अदिति जी को मैं बोलता हूँ, do you know अदिति जी, there is a place where there is never night. वहां कभी रात ही नहीं होता. और ऐसा भी जगह है जहां पे कभी दिन ही नहीं होता. Would you agree? अच्छा, अगर वो एग्री नहीं करते, देयर आर प्लेसेस वेयर 6 महीने दिन होते हैं जहां पे 6 महीने रात होती है.
वो
Would
है.
you agree to that? No? Oh my God, then go and see. There are places where there are 6 months of nights and 6 months of
हम्म,
days. कहाँ होगा? Top
Alaska.
of the, because वहां पे क्या होता है, when it rotates, the sunshine does not falls on it for 6 months. Right? So that's how it is. So based on the geographical structure, the vibrational frequency, the kind of impact it creates.
Oh.
Based on that, it
हम्म.
differs. अलग अलग चीजों का अलग अलग इम्पैक्ट पड़ता है उनके ऊपर.
So follow करना है.
See, follow whatever works for you. And anyways, you know, I have told it earlier also. When a cat crosses your street, it was not to create fear. You remember in my childhood what I was taught by my grandfather. He simply used to say, see, सब कहते हैं ना बिल्ली रास्ता काटे तो मत जाना. But do you know what you should do in that time? मुझे क्या करना चाहिए ये पता है क्या? मतलब क्या? Now this is an opportunity to think of God. You are rushing somewhere. Suddenly a cat passed by. It is like a pause that you take.
Yeah.
In the rush of life, you take a pause. You become aware of your own self. When you become aware of your own self, what happens? You think of God in that moment. And that moment becomes a moment of divinity. डराने के लिए नहीं कहा गया. और डर के मारे भी क्या करते हो? हे भगवान कुछ ना हो. किसी बहाने आप उसे याद करते हो. Yes or no? और हमने कहा था ना कि हमारा पैर अगर किसी को लग जाता है, if in my place, if something, it does not matter whether it is a pillow, rock, or a person or anything. If my toe touches him, I'd immediately say Narayan, Narayan, Vishnu, Vishnu, Vishnu. क्या है वो? What is a way of giving naam jap to them even without them knowing it? तो जब भी पैर लग जाए अपने आप निकल जाता है विष्णु. अच्छा है बुरा है ये सुपरस्टिशन है? No, these are mechanisms to keep you in alignment with the divinity even when you don't know it. There are so many things that they keep on telling. Don't sit on pillows.
Yeah.
You sit on pillows, pillow फट जाएंगे भाई. इसलिए बोल दिए, डरा दिए, मत बैठो. If you eat a seed, the tree will grow from within you. You know why that was said? You eat so many seed actually, but no tree has grown within you. But वो कहते थे फल खा ले, उसका बीज मत खाना. The reason is very scientific. See, if you eat the fruit, it will be consumed by the body, but that seed has no nutritional value for your body. It will be wasted. So rather than making it pass through you, it is better you put it somewhere, because if it passes through you, it won't grow. But if it is thrown as is, it will grow into a tree. बताओ ये, this is science or this is something that they don't know? और हम क्या करते, खा के बीज फेंक देते. वो बीज कभी ना कभी सॉइल मिल जाएगा और वो अगर पेड़ उग गया तो यू unknowingly a tree got planted. So that's what I say. There are so many things, Sumali. Everything that you say has a scientific reason behind.
So follow means like follow your the heart करके बोल रहे हैं क्या देवा क्या बोल रहे हैं?
नहीं. See, if somebody has told something good to you, should you follow that or not is up to you.
But उसका impact होता है क्या really? Means like if they means like based on the
बिल्कुल
belief वो impact होता है, and if they say like
बिल्कुल
no
होगा.
I don't believe करके बोला तो भी उनके पे impact होता है क्या है?
बिल्कुल होता है. क्यों नहीं होगा? Might be you don't know that impact. Might be you don't realize that impact. But
Yeah.
impact तो होता है. If somebody asks me if an ant bites me, will I die? No, I won't die, but it will have an impact. Are you following all that is said there? No, right? So similarly, वो क्यों कहते हैं जैसा देश वैसा भेष? Why is it said so? उसका मानने का मतलब क्या होता है? The place you go, you should adapt that way of living so that you don't have these questions. Because that culture does not believe in that. And when they don't believe in that, they will mock you because you are in that culture now. So what will happen? Now you will have a question. And then suddenly you say, oh, this has better buildings here. So you people don't know anything. You are outdated. No, it is not outdated. It's not old. It is something that is prevalent in that culture, that location, that particular way. Here. Now, let's say people use that what you call as burqa kind of thing, right? Hijab. It is quite relevant if they wear it in Arab countries because there are sandstorms. But that has become a norm of here. Even though you are in hot summer, no storm, nothing, you still wrap around yourself. What did you call that? So, certainly, you ask me what particular thing that you think is superstition, then I will answer you. Then we will see if we have a scientific knowledge of that or not. Now, today morning, there was a superstition that was broken for me. I brought some rose flowers yesterday. Every time I put the flower, I make sure there are no thorns in that. I just try to remove it. In that rose, there were no thorns. They have brought up a new hybrid rose that does not have thorns in it. And इतना soft है वो stem में, बोले ये, how is it possible? Hybrid. Now people can say, I am a rose without thorns. हम पहले हरि भाई कहते थे, even though we have thorns, I am like a rose. अब कहते हैं I am a rose without thorns. No, Samadhi. Ask specific questions. What feels like superstition? Now, as you rightly said, if you are there in Singapore and you believe that cats should not cross your, then go on, you are doomed. Isn't it?
Yeah.
And you're doomed for a long, long time, you know. बेचारा बिल्ली आपको बंदी बना के रख देगा.
So actually, does that fear works more? इम्पैक्ट के ज्यादा वो fear हम पे ज्यादा काम करके वो डर की
Absolutely.
वजह से भी कुछ
I
होने
will,
के चांसेस होता है
I
ना?
will agree to that. You'd see like this. हमारे वहां पे कहावत है कि there is a saying like, whose kid the snake has bitten, the mom of that kid will be fearful of a rope as well. मतलब जिसके बच्चे को सांप ने काटा है ना, उसके माँ को रस्सी भी देख के डर लगता है. क्यों? Because it has created such kind of impact on them.
Impact on, yes.
So it's all matters that. आप सोचो, मैं वही कहता हूँ ना कि रात में अगर आपने सोचा कि भूत है, भूत है, but more than that, I only believe the mind can create things that create fear in you. Reason? The mind wants you to be protected. He wants you to be preserved. वो यही चाहता है कि आपको कभी कुछ ना हो, आपकी सुरक्षा करने की कोशिश करता है. बट सुरक्षा करते करते एक पोजेस्ड हो जाता है, ऑब्सेस्ड हो जाता है. That becomes dangerous, because then it takes over all the control. It's just like artificial intelligence. Till you make it work, it's amazing. But the day it takes over, you are doomed. Aditi ji would understand this. Riding a bullet is amazing. Up until you are riding the bullet, it's all good. But the day the bullet starts riding you, in the sense बीच रास्ते गाड़ी खराब हुई, वो बुलेट को धक्का मार के लेके आते आते ना, नानी, दादाजी, दादी माँ सब याद आ जाएंगे. So that's how I say the mind is just like that. If you are able to control that, if it is in your control, you will do amazing things with it. But if it is not, then it will create all the troubles for you.
It's better to handle them, accept them, and then without fear, we have to.
One thing, try to understand the science and reality behind it. Then you decide whether you should follow it or not. नहीं तो क्या होगा ना, फिर वही हो जाएगा, किसी ने कहा और मैं मान लिया. No,
Why shouldn't we cut the nails on Tuesdays and Fridays? Why do they so? Like nails का क्यों specially बोल ऐसा?
See, we understand like energy is passing through the head, traveling into the body, moving out through the hands and legs. Right? So on those days, on those particular days, even in our culture, you might have seen like people used to keep a choti behind them.
Yeah.
Thinking that what? Like this is a space where it is like a receiving center. That becomes like a antenna that you say. People do funny talks about that, but that acts as an antenna. That provides, that captures that kind of energy and keeps into it. So on the days on Mangalwar, the kind of energy that flows into your body, it should be preserved. It should not be thrown away. In the sense, hair, nails. These are the first point and the last point of contact of the energy. Because after that is leaving your body. So what they say, in cutting it down, you are breaking the flow somehow. You are, वो कहते हैं ना, constant flow of energy को stop कर देना. On these particular days, they say that how to make you understand. इसे कैसे बताया जा सकता है? Okay. This connectivity, the name itself is Mangal. Mangal का मतलब क्या होता है? Doing good. Right? One way why these things were stopped is, in our culture, it was thought to असुचीकरण माना जाता था जब आप दाढ़ी या फिर नाखून काटते थे या बाल काटते थे. Because those were as a indication of something happened in your life. So you cut on nails and beard and all those things that has happened. मंगलवार के दिन क्या होता है? The urja, the energy that flows through this body, it should pass on as is into the nature. But when we are cutting down all those things, it's like bringing a halt to that process.
Okay.
उसके अलावा, the vibrational frequency that is there on the hair strands and the nails, especially on Tuesdays, Fridays, and to certain extent on Thursdays, it has the greatest impact. Means that is so subtle that it is, now you hear again what I'm saying. It is having the greatest impact on the non-living part of your body. It's not the living part. Hair, non-living. Nails, non-living. You say how they are growing. They are growing, but they don't have sensations in that. So the impact that is being created on the non-living part on your body, that is so microscopic in nature. Matlab, how much they must have known about all these things. Just think of what kind of vibration is happening there, that kind of vibration is happening here, and it should not be stopped. It should not be cut into. So it should be left as is.
Well, does the same applies to the like hospital visits or surgeries or like money is lending and like
It
borrowing
won't.
and
See, it won't. It's just like this. If you eat one day, you eat outside oily food, you won't develop cholesterol on the very next day.
because
If you
usually
ate
they say
one
like
does not
Tuesdays don't go to hospitals. If you go and join in Tuesday, then it will
Yes.
prolong.
Generally, what they have seen is these days tend to prolong certain things. For example, I'll give a very practical example. If you can observe, you will get to know that. If a rain starts on Tuesday, it will go for 3 days. आप देख लो, मंगलवार के दिन बारिश शुरू होता है तो 3 दिन चलेगा. अगर गुरुवार के दिन बारिश होता है तो वो कैसी बारिश होगी? इट विल स्टार्ट स्टॉप, इट विल कम एंड गो, कम एंड गो, कम एंड गो, कम एंड गो. मतलब कब हो जाएगा, कब रुक जाएगा, आपको पता नहीं चला. आप यू लिख के रख लो. You see whether this happens or not. If a rain starts on a Saturday, it nearly runs for 6 days. And you know, during my childhood, I used to wait. किस दिन बारिश शुरू हो रही है? So that I can predict what is going to happen to my school for the next 2-3 days or a week. ये होता है ना, अगर बचपन से ही ज्ञान मिल जाए तो बड़ा काम का चीज होता है, नहीं धवल जी? मतलब पता चल जाएगी कि कितना दिन बुखार आएगा, कितना दिन स्कूल छुट्टी मिल जाएगा.
Then what about money? Money also they say like you should not lend money to anyone on Tuesdays, but you can repay, but don't वैसा भी बोलते हैं तो वो भी सेम रीजन है क्या देवा?
Yes, वो हो सकता है, because you see, if you want to have a session entirely on days, then superstitions and science, we can have it actually. But that would be means like such मतलब इतना छोटा चीज हो जाएगा कि आपको बोले सब. But ठीक है, might be that would be of help to
I mean, some things we maybe need to know because we have to answer to the kids also.
Yes, true
So
that.
that is the main
Then
thing.
then I'll plan something out on that. But
Yeah.
मेरे हाथ में एक बहुत बड़ा कार्य दिया गया है, पता नहीं कैसे कर पाएंगे हम. So जो कार्य दिया गया है, why I'm skeptical is I think like whether I will do justice to it or not. कि उन्होंने कहा कि आपने एक पर्वत के बारे में इतना कुछ बता दिया कि लोग रो पड़े, अब राम के बारे में क्यों नहीं बताते? I said, gone. ये तो परीक्षा की घड़ी हो जाएगी.
वो भी पेंडिंग है देवा आनंद रामायण.
पहले राम समझ लो, फिर आनंद राम तक पहुंचेंगे. बिकॉज आनंद रामायण में एक ऐसा जगह है जहां पे सीता ने रावण के साथ युद्ध किया है, महारावण. और उस रावण को राम नहीं मार पाए, सीता ने मारा है. अब रामायण पे पूरी कहानी बदल जाएगी रामायण की. सो देयर बट बहुत बड़ा चीज रख दिया है आभा जी ने. जैसे ही अरुणाचल का प्रोसेस खत्म हुआ हरि भाई, द वेरी नेक्स्ट मोमेंट आपका गाना बज रहा है, आभा जी का कॉल आता है. क्या हुआ? नहीं गुरुजी, आपने सब कुछ तो अच्छे से बता दिया इसके बारे में, तो राम के बारे में क्यों नहीं बता? मेरा आभा जी सोचो, एक पर्वत के बारे में अगर इतना बताएंगे तो राम के बारे में क्या करेंगे? व्हाट ऑल विल स्पीक, आई डोंट इवन नो. लेकिन कोशिश है. आ गए राम तो आ गए. तो होता है ना, कुछ चीजों को आप ना You don't want to touch it, not because you fear it, but because you think you cannot do justice to that. जिसके नाम से पत्थर तय जाए उसके बारे में क्या बात करें.
आप
But still,
डिस्कस करते हो तो we don't have any doubt in that one.
so we will see like what all, if it comes, how it comes. अगर किसी के मुख से निकला है तो उसका आने का समय होगा. So we'll see. बट जितना शायद बोल सकूं, आई डोंट नो, लाइक आपने बहुत ज्यादा पढ़ा होगा उनके बारे में, बहुत ज्यादा सीखा होगा. हम जो भी बोलेंगे बहुत सरल ही बोलेंगे, क्योंकि हमारे जैसे राम उनकी कथाएं वैसी. लेट्स सी. आई ट्राई टू कीप माय वर्ड ऑन दैट. ओके, चलो सुमा जी. सो आई विल मूव ऑन टू
Yeah. Thank you.
जी. जस्ट अ सेकंड, लेट मी हेल्प यू विद दैट. हाँ कृतार्थ जी.
प्रणाम गुरुजी।
प्रणाम प्रणाम कृतार्थ जी, बताइए.
हाँ, आप वो मैंने हमारी बात हुई थी, वो कुछ मैंने पोस्ट किया था आपको. और एक इम्पोर्टेंट डिसीजन भी लेना था, उसके लिए भी मैंने आपको बताया है. बिकॉज ओनली यू कैन डिसाइड दिस व्हाट इज गुड और व्हाट इज बैड. ओके
जी.
अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, अभी रिसेंटली एक बात पता चली थी ऑन वन ऑफ द पॉडकास्ट. रीम मंत्र भगवती देवी का प्रणव अक्षर है.
ओके.
जितने भी भगवती के मंत्र है उसमें रीम आएगा ही आएगा.
ओके.
जब रीम लगता है तब ओम नहीं लगता,
ओके.
क्योंकि एक मंत्र में दो दो प्रणव अक्षर कैसे लगेंगे. बट दिस इज, मतलब ये क्या सच है नहीं है क्या है, क्योंकि आपने जितने भी मंत्र अब तक दिए हैं उन सब में दोनों है.
राइट. तो पॉडकास्ट में एक बार पूछिएगा. क्या
ओके
पूछिएगा? प्रणव कितने तरीके के हैं?
ओके
क्योंकि प्रणव कितने तरीके के नहीं हो सकते. इट्स जस्ट लाइक कृतार्थ जी, आई वेंट टू समवेयर एंड दे से वी आर वन ऑफ द टॉप. नहीं, वी आर द वन ऑफ द नंबर वन कंपनीज. मतलब वन ऑफ द नंबर वन कंपनीज क्या होता है? नंबर वन कंपनी तो एक ही होगा. वी आर वन ऑफ द नंबर वन कंपनीज. ये वैसे ही. उनको पहले बताओ कि जो रीम के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं वो कौन सी देवी का बीज मंत्र है, और वो बीज मंत्र है, वो प्रणव नहीं है. प्रणव सिर्फ
ओके
ओमकार को प्रणव कहा जा सकता है. ह्रीम बीज मंत्र है, ओमकार बीज मंत्र नहीं है. ओमकार प्रणव है, और इट कैन बी द स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट ऑफ एवरीथिंग. तो यहीं पे ढेर जरूरत ही नहीं आगे जाने की कहीं. भाई पहले समझ लो कि प्रणव क्यों कहा गया उसे, और इसे बीज मंत्र क्यों कहा गया.
ओके. नवारण मंत्र में ओम लगता है या नहीं, और नवारण मंत्र में नवदुर्गा का वास है या 10 महाविद्या का, या दोनों का?
देखिए, नवाण मंत्र में जब कोई भी ओमकार लगा के उसकी मंत्र जाप करता है, ये हालांकि हरेक जो गृहस्थ हैं उनको कहा ही जाता है कि ओम लगाओ. द रीजन इज ओमकार हैज ए वेरी सूदिंग इम्पैक्ट. मतलब वो चीजों को न्यूट्रलाइज कर सकता है. ओके. रीजन बिहाइंड इज उस तरीके के ऊर्जा को आप संभाल नहीं पाओगे, उसके लिए प्रणव का इस्तेमाल किया जाता है. प्रणव चलना मतलब शिव स्वयं साथ में चलने जैसा है. सो ही नोज वेयर टू कंट्रोल, व्हाट टू कंट्रोल. इसलिए जब ओमकार के साथ पढ़ा जाता है, कोई भी गृहस्थ वो ओमकार लगा के पढ़े तो अच्छा है उनके. द रीजन इज इट विल हैव ए बैलेंस्ड इंपैक्ट ऑन दैट. लेकिन अगर अगर आप तीव्र साधनाएं करते और उसी मंत्र को आप वीर भाव से करते तो मंत्र का प्रभाव बदल जाएगा, वहां प्रणव नहीं लगेगा. मतलब ये कैसे? आप पूजा कर रहे हो तो ध्यान मंत्र करते हो, आप काटते हो तो बोलोगे कितना प्यारा है, बोल के तो नहीं काटोगे ना. सो व्हेन इट हैज टू कट, इट हैज टू कट. सो वहां पे प्रणव नहीं आएगा. और जब आप कहते हो कि नवाण मंत्र नव दुर्गाओं का है या 10 महाविद्याओं का, आपको क्या लगता है किसकी हो सकता है? क्या वो दो अलग है? स्वरूप अलग है। एक शांत स्वरूप है, एक तीव्र स्वरूप है। मार्ग अलग है, वाम मार्ग है, दक्षिण मार्ग है। अगर आप वाम मार्ग के जरिए आपके पास वो मंत्र आया है तो वो 10 महाविद्याओं के लिए काम आएगा। लेकिन अगर आप सात्विक स्वरूप में पूजा सीखे हो, देवी माँ की पूजा करते हो, तो उनके हिसाब से वही मंत्र नवदुर्गाओं के लिए लग जाएगा। क्योंकि आपका मंत्र पढ़ने का शैली बदल जाता है, तीव्रता बदल जाती है, इम्पैक्ट बदल जाता है। इट जस्ट लाइक आई ऑलवेज यूज टू गिव दिस। मैं एक पिन लूंगा और एक पिन आई विल प्रिक इनटू यू। आपको थोड़ा सा दर्द होगा, ओ करके कर लोगे। बट इफ आई टेक द सेम पिन एंड अटैच इट टू द एंड ऑफ ए आयरन रॉड एंड देन बिट यू, उसका इम्पैक्ट क्या होगा? पिन वही है, but the way it was done has changed. The impact will be deeper. Might be the pin that only pricked you with this iron rod that might pass through your heart. कैसा? तो उसी तरीके से, जिस तरीके से देवियों की पूजा की जाती है, जैसी विधियों से पूजा की जाती है, उस विधि के हिसाब से आपका मंत्र का जाप करने का तरीका बदल जाता है। और अब तो हर मंत्र को गाना बना चुके हैं। इट डज नॉट लाइक, इट्स लाइक इम्पैक्ट नहीं आएगा उससे। गाने के लिए भजन है ना, गाओ। मंत्रों को क्यों गाते हो? मंत्र को जैसे पढ़ना चाहिए वैसे पढ़ो। या सागरे द्राट द्राट दुर्ग टममलम टम टटम टम टटम टम तैलम तैलम तु तैलम कुकुकुकुकुकुम। If I say I put a song into that and I start singing it, then no, it creates, जब आप उस तरीके के वाइब्रेशन से आप जब थ्रो करते हो, it is not only changing the outer, it is changing your inner self. आपका हर एक सेल, जब आप वीर भाव में बैठ के जब मंत्र जाप करते हो, ऐसा नहीं लगता आपका हर सेल जागृत हो जाता है? Why it is done in that way? Because it is not outer awakening, it's inner awakening. पहले सर्वप्रथम उस ऊर्जा का इम्पैक्ट आपके ऊपर होना चाहिए, बाकी बाद में, है ना? So that's how, Kritarji, it is based on the kind of diksha you have taken or the one who have taught you this. और उसके हिसाब से जो भी आपको ये सिखाते हैं, वो किस रूप से सिखाते हैं? वो आपके सामर्थ्य को देखते हैं, मीन्स हाउ यू विल बी एबल टू हैंडल दिस पावर। आपके सामर्थ्य को देखा जाता है, आपकी परिस्थितियों को देखा जाता है, उस हिसाब से ये सारी चीजें दी जा सकती है। इट्स वेरी सिंपल, इट्स साइंटिफिक इन नेचर। आप एक छोटे बच्चे को एक तलवार लेके नहीं भेज दोगे, अगर दिए तो भी लकड़ी का दो या तो प्लास्टिक का, है ना? लेकिन कोई युद्ध करने जा रहा है, उसको प्लास्टिक का देके भेजोगे क्या? पहले खुद कट जाएगा। So it all depends like what you want to do with what. नहीं तो वही देखो, मूवी में बैठ के हर कोई वही मंत्र जाप कर रहा है। हाँ? इतना तुच्छ मंत्र है क्या? कोई भी देखो, भूत प्रेत को देखते ही वही मंत्र, और उसके ऊपर ऐसा फेंकेंगे और उसमें से आग जलेगा। वो दैट्स नॉट द वे। ठीक है, एक काम करता हूँ पिताजी, आई विल रीड योर मैसेज अगेन, आई रिप्लाई बैक। ठीक है,
ओके
बिकॉज द लास्ट जो आपका मैसेज आया था, इट वाज टू बिग, आई कुड नॉट रीड इट ऑन दैट एंड समहाउ आई स्किप्ड इट, बट मैं पढ़ लेता हूँ। ओके, एंड आई रिप्लाई बैक टू दैट।
या एंड वन मोर क्वेश्चन इज देयर कि समुद्र मंथन की स्टोरी है। अब
ओके,
स्टोरी तो स्टोरी है, मतलब वो तो कहीं से भी मिल जाएगी, गूगल भी बता देगा क्या है, बट उसका रियल मीनिंग क्या है वो नहीं पता चल सकता है अब तक। क्योंकि जब दुर्वासा मुनि के बारे में आपने बोला था, तब भी आपने बताया था कि महादेव ने विष क्यों पिया, उसका रियल रीजन आपने बताया। अब विष पी लिया वो कहानी तो हर कोई बता देगा, बट उसका रियल सेंस, अब कोई कोई चीजें आई उसकी सीक्वेंस है, तो वही सीक्वेंस क्यों? अब ऐरावत नाम का हाथी ही क्यों है? बंदर भी हो सकता था, गधा भी हो सकता था, लेकिन वो नहीं है। उसका भी एक अलग सेंस मीनिंग है, नाम
Yes.
के भी अलग अलग मतलब है। ऐरावत, इवन दिस वर्ड हैज अ डिफरेंट मीनिंग। तो ये दोनों ही मतलब गृहस्थी में भी, प्रोफेशनल लाइफ में भी और आध्यात्म में भी अगर कुछ खोज करनी है खुद की, तो ये स्टोरी बहुत काम की है। तो
It
आप
is, it is,
समझा।
it is too much, because it's like a everyday act, every moment act of within ourselves.
ओके,
गहरी बात पूछी। चलो किसी दिन
तो
इस
ये आप
पर कर
समझाओ
ही लेंगे,
कि हाँ।
बता देंगे
ओके।
what
या।
could be the true essence of that, because
यस।
that's happening with us every moment, even happening now when you are asking the question. A Q&A session would be a great example of that. Okay, पिताजी
ओके।
बिल्कुल।
या, थैंक यू।
चिदिलास,
नमस्कार महादेव।
नमस्कार। उषा जी
So,
पहले हाथ जोड़ के बैठे, मतलब बहुत दिनों से देखा नहीं था तुझे, कहाँ गए थे?
yes, Mahadev. So, recently it so happened that I was uh, listening to a video where it was about Padmasambhava of Buddhism. So, there it was basically he was saying something like Padmasambhava had a desire to, like, give mukti to all the creatures. Like, I for some reason think after a certain stage in spirituality, they feel that, because somehow they feel how people are suffering without them even knowing, getting trapped into the mesh of Maya. So, like, what is it about? Can it be done? Why hasn't it been done when so many people have already thought about it? Like, is it even a thing? Can it be done?
It can be done, but you have to close the entire drum. It's game khatam. That's how you can do it. The moment the pralaya would happen, it's like it can be a forceful awakening. Might be it's like you are in deep sleep, enjoying your dream. Suddenly, your mom comes and throws water on your face. HD, Urja. Why would you do that like that? You were lost in your dream. You did not want to wake up. But the one who has awakened, what will they do? They will say, do you know what time it is? इतने युग बीत गए और कितना दिन सोएगा? जाग जा. Wake up. So that happens when you do as the final resolution of creation. तब होगा. Up until then, what happens? Up until then, there will be beings, those who will come here to help you wake up to that space, to make you realize what you truly are. And why they try to do that is they have realized one thing in their life. Just like somebody who has gone through that pain, if he has really suffered, he will always pray that nobody should go through this. वो कहते हैं ना, ये ऐसा किसी के साथ ना हो। वो क्यों कहते हैं? क्योंकि उनके साथ ऐसा कुछ हुआ है जिससे उन्होंने एक ऐसी सीख पाई है, इतना दर्द सहा है कि वो कहते हैं कि ऐसा किसी के साथ। They have become compassionate in their pain. Have you seen? उनका दुख उनके अंदर संवेदना जगा देता है। कुछ लोग दुख से कठोर हो जाते हैं और कुछ लोग संवेदना आ जाती है। Means some people become very, very soft-hearted after the pain that they have gone through. So the people, those who have gone to this path, they have seen the world, they have seen the drama of the world, the pain of this world, and finally they have found their way out. What would they do? They'll always say, why are you getting into that trap again and again? There is a way out, come out. And then what happens? Everybody won't listen. Those who listen, they start walking for themselves. And you know that story of that water bug? It still is relevant for all of us. Because it once climbed the stem, it developed the wings, it cannot go back into the water. But what is their desire? They could have said, oh, so let me fly away because now I can fly. They did not say that. They said, I have promised something. I should go back to help them. And even though I cannot reach out to them, let me fly here. So that at least by seeing me flying, somebody will start climbing, and that will also realize that flying is possible. Don't you think like you, even at your place, at your space that you are, don't you think like everybody should experience this, what you experience?
Yes.
People won't listen to that because everyone has a different taste. Might be you like that food, they don't. That's how it is similar. So there have been beings, and because of them, there have been so many beings, those who have understood what true freedom is all about. They have gone into the path of liberation. They have walked on the path of spirituality. That's their doing. And what you should do, that's what the calling of your own self. Once you listen to the calling of your own self, it will always call you back home, that we say. The reason is, if I say this statement, it might be quite quizzical. It's like, it's a time that the divine itself is thinking, I have ran too far in this world. Now let me go back home. As you. Then, who is going back home? Because if everything is happening as per his knowledge, as per his wisdom, then this wisdom that is going through right now, the thing that I'm going through right now, the knowledge that I'm, or the pull that I have towards it, what would that be? The one that ran away from himself is running back towards himself. तो बच्चा था जो घर से भाग गया था, फिर घर की तरफ भागने लगा. That's all. Haven't been your path too long. Might be you have traveled too far. Now you say, let me go back. That's how it is, Chibutas. There will always be good people all around, trying to liberate. They will liberate few will still live. वो बार बार मौका देगा. It will give you enough opportunities, but if it does not happen, then finally he says, I only started all this, let me end this. Then what? And everything goes into pralaya and vilaya. And everything will go back, merge into the same space where nothing is. So what the next question?
So I think like the part where one feels like liberating everything or everyone, I feel it comes from place where he realizes that he is the one who is there in everyone. So it's like uh, and then when we come back again, and then we see and then we analyze again. But the thing is, when we come back again, how are we able to come back again and do normal things again? I mean, it's nice, but how?
That's by choice. See, if you have taken birth as a human, there are certain activities that automatically come along with you. Right? So a baby is born A baby is born to an animal, a baby is born to a human. See, there are certain activities of an animal that he does not go to any school to learn that. It is intrinsic. As a human, when you take birth, there are certain things that are already intrinsic as a quality in you. So that again takes you back into the process of this world. When you go into the process of the world, it's just like, you remember, like even if you want to create something beautiful as a gold ornament, you will need some impurities in that. What do? You carry certain impurities, take birth in this world, so that you experience part of the world as well, yet knowing that all this is wrong. Then only that being, with its true knowledge that it is already carrying, it passes on to the beings, those who are ready to listen about that. Who will listen? The ones, those who are about to awake, or the ones, those who are awaking. The whispers of the divine soul cannot be heard by the sleeping. Similarly, things will happen. And that's what it is. So the nature that you carry of a human, you can nurture it to become the divine, or you can deteriorate and become a demon. इच्छा आपकी है. आपके पास अभी समय है, आप बैठ के राम का नाम ले सकते हो, या आप इसी समय बैठ के और कुछ कर सकते हो. योजना बना सकते हो किसी को मारने की, किसी को पीटने की, है ना. So you should be lucky enough if you have gotten that idea. Because what it is said, an idle mind is a devil's workshop. And a silent mind is God's warehouse. ये सेकंड वाला हम ऐड कर दिए, है ना. आइडल हो जाओगे तो कुछ ना कुछ तो करेगा, खुरापाती दिमाग है. आप जानते हो ना, जब तक आपको भूख लगता है आपको कोई बेकार की चिंताएं नहीं आती. जैसे पेट भर जाता है, धीरे से लेट जाते हो, तभी पूरी चिंताएं आने लगती है. Up until this is hungry, it is only thinking where do I get food. The moment this is done, now it thinks, अच्छा उसके घर में क्या हो रहा है, उसने मुझे ऐसा क्यों कहा, वो मेरे साथ ऐसा क्यों बिहेव किया. Now think of, you are only thirsty or you are only hungry. कभी किसी का बुरा सोचते हो वो टाइम पे. हाँ, खाली ये सोचते हो मम्मी ने टिफिन बॉक्स नहीं दिया, दिए होते तो मेरे को भूख लगता था तो मैं खा लेता था. But still the mind is working in searching food. Search is there. That's how it is. So
And,
is
yes.
connected. So what is the question?
Another parallel question is like, when you were saying about the pralay, then like the souls which have awakened by themselves, as you said before, don't come again after the pralay when the universe starts to happen again. But isn't it the point of pralay that everything goes back? Then why would it come back again? And like when we in a way say that we one gets mukti, that means they went into the ultimate one that we can't really describe of, which means at the end, after the pralay also everything merges back to it. So when
Okay.
it comes back again after the pralay, how is it that we don't come back, because we are also that?
Can I tell you in a very, very funny way?
Yes, Mahadev.
Have you ever gone to a school reunion? You have left the school is no more of your playground. You have studied what you have to study, you have moved out, and yet you go for a reunion. What does that indicate? कि जब आपके दोस्त फिर बुलाते हैं तो आप दौड़ के चले जाते हैं, है ना? At times the God when it incarnates, मानो जैसे कृष्ण धरा पर फिर से आ रहे हैं या राम आ रहे हैं. So the ones, those who have loved it, or the same part of that being, it says if I have to play, it needs at least two to play. The more the better. So they come along of their own avatars in different ways, forms, and all those things. There was a question, so logical question that has popped up right now, that if Krishna is the 8th avatar, who is the 9th avatar of Vishnu? Some people are giving argument that Buddha was enlightened. He was not like an incarnation. He never said that he was incarnation. So that ruled out. And some people say Balram was the 9th. But Balram itself was the Seshnag. तो कैसे हो सकता है? तो विष्णु का 9th अवतार किधर है? Where is the 9th avatar of Vishnu? अब गया कोई क्वेश्चन पूछ लेता है, घूम रहे लोग ढूंढते हुए कहाँ गया 9वां अवतार विष्णु का. अब कल ही कैसे आएगा? Where is the 9th avatar yet? So coming back to, as I simply said, जब भी वो लीला करने आता है, जैसे आपने गए थे ना, like you have gone to Vrindavan and in Vrindavan you saw Gopeshwar Mahadev. Okay, so when you saw Gopeshwar Mahadev, what did you learn? वो भी तो देवों के देव है, वो अपने जगह पे बैठ सकते थे. But why did he came down? See, something so beautiful was happening that he could not stop himself, and he has to put some beauty on his face also. I came and did that, right? What is the indication? That means when the divinity comes to do a particular play which is so beautiful, that you also jump in. Let me be part of this Leela. Let it be the part of this entire drama that he is doing along with it. अब सोचो जब कृष्ण वृंदावन में चले होंगे, is it only the few number of people that you know they have only seen Krishna? There are many others. But you know what they did not do, what these things could do is creating a relationship with that divinity. आए तो बहुत सारे थे, लेकिन कुछ यहीं रह गए. मानते हो नहीं मानते? Then my question would be, were you not there at that time? If you have been there from beginning of time, then you must have been there also. But the only thing is, at that time, you missed the opportunity to create that connection with it. This time you have gotten it. शायद उस बार छूट गए थे, इस बार मौका फिर से दिया गया है. या तो पकड़ लो या तो फिर छूट जाओगे. है ना? But when you choose to come, that is another way. Oh, incarnation. Then you come and you know that who you are. But if you are just coming and going without realization, that is painful. So Chittilas, if an opportunity has been lost in all the yugas, and even in Kali Yuga you have been given an opportunity to rise, what would you do?
Would rise up, Sally.
You know, sometimes some people ask me, ये कलयुग क्यों बनाया गया? मैंने कहा सप्लीमेंटरी एग्जाम्स होते हैं, पता है? सप्लीमेंटरी एग्जाम क्या होता है? The ones those who could not pass in the main, they are given another chance. तो सत्ययुग, द्वापर, त्रेता में कितने महान महान लोग हुए होंगे, आपका नामो निशान नहीं था उसमें. You are not even qualifying for that. So for you, God has given another blessing. Say, okay, सप्लीमेंटरी देके पास हो जा, भले ही कंपार्टमेंटल में, लेकिन पास हो जा. But those who miss this, just think of how unconscious they might be. हमें कोई बैर नहीं है उनसे, but the thing is, you feel, no, just like you said, once you have realized something, you feel that others should also experience it. आप कोई मूवी देखते हो, आपको अच्छा लगता है, आप अपने दोस्तों को कहते हो. आप कहीं खाना खाने जाते हो, आपको अच्छा लगता है, तो आप उसके बारे में दोस्तों को कहते हो. So you do all that, right? So this is a way of life that you are discovering. And if you are discovering that way of life and you found that this is so beautiful, won't you describe it to others? And don't worry, everybody won't come, but few will. And those who will, they will start. Might be you become a source for them. आप सूत्रधार बन जाओगे उनके लिए. The cause and effect for their liberation. Don't you think like that old man who walked in front of Gautam Buddha also played a crucial role? The person that died on that day played a crucial role. The one who was weak and diseased became a source. अगर एक बीमार आदमी, एक मरा हुआ आदमी, एक वृद्ध आदमी बुद्ध को बना सकता है, तो क्या ये जाप, मंत्र, जाप, ध्यान आपको उस स्थिति तक नहीं पहुंचा सकता? It's not about anything else. Gautam Buddha died on that day and awakened. Means उनका मैं उसी दिन मर गया. वही होता है ना, कोई 2-3 चीजों को देख के सुधर जाते हैं और हम रोज सुन के भी बिगड़ जाते हैं. But this option that has been given, that opportunity that has been given, like, see, do all that you can do. You have never stopped anything. The only thing that I always suggest is, whatever you do, do it in the best way, in such a way that you are doing it not for the divine, but as the divine. सोचो अगर भगवान कोई कार्य करता तो कैसे करता है इस चीज को? If your hands have become the hands of God, what kind of thing would you create? At least you will not make anything ugly. You will choose not to do anything, but at least you will not make things ugly. Makes sense? So there is an opportunity. If you feel like, okay, I should go and play around with him and experience that magic again, you will come. But at the same time, when the God incarnates, the main God is still there. That means some part of it is still there. If you don't will to come and experience it, no one is going to force you. Because everything starts with a Ichha Shakti, your will. Anything else?
But Madhav, isn't it like uh, I feel like it's just huge water in a bowl, and then there are small cups of water that I think we are, that we got separated from the source, trying to experience these things. So basically what we are trying to do is take that pot, pour it into the original source. Now we have become the source. Later, after the pralay happens, the water has to come from the source only.
Yes.
So
What
when
else?
we say that if we don't want to come, it is our wish if we want to come or do not want to come. But we have become the source. It is coming from the source. Then what is that I don't want to come?
Is it
I
not
don't want to come or I want to come.
is it not funny, Chidvilas, that when you say you have merged and you still say I?
Exactly. Exactly.
Then how did you merge? You have not merged yet
Exactly.
because the I is still different. And have you seen, like, people say, how should I merge into him? I say a very simple thing, bring 2 glasses of water. Might be half a glass and another half a glass. And then just pour 1 glass of water to another. Does the water ask you how I should merge into the other glass of water, or it is so much in love with that it does not even think and it merges instantly without any fight?
Merges.
So how did it do that? कौन सा जाप करके आया था, कौन सा मंत्र पढ़ के आया था, उसे मिल गया जाके उसके अंदर? It is nothing. It just knew that it is me. So there is no fight in merging. The moment you know that you are that, no fight. Merge. कौन रोकेगा? The glass won't merge into that water. So what is that realization? Once you actually come to know that part of it, merging is not a process. Merging is realization that you have never separated. You are never two. You are never different. वही तो कर रहे थे ना संडे के दिन अरुणाचल शिवा के बारे में जब बात कर रहे थे. The greatest thing that you will realize that it was never ever away from you. When you listen to this and you hear that beating of the heart and that vibrational frequency that it creates, you close your eyes and watch it closely, and you will know that today you are not taking its name, it is chanting yours. Because if it was not chanting your name, why did you heard that calling? Why you have that pull towards it? Because it is calling again and again, you think you are taking its name, rather it is his calling because of which you are pulled towards that. आप खींचे चले जाना चाहते हो, आप जल जाना चाहते हो, want to burn down yourself, because Shiva is the fire that burns you and the silence thereafter. मतलब सब कुछ जल जाने के बाद क्या रह जाएगा? A burning, luminous, silent light. जल रहा है, कोई शब्द नहीं है उसमें. It's like the fire consuming itself. Have you heard the Arunachala session?
Not yet, Madhav, in bits and pieces, but yeah.
Don't listen to it in bits and pieces because it's not a session, it's a song. That session was not a session, it was a song. शुरुआत से आखिर तक एक गाने की तरह गया है. Nothing was connected to anything, but everything connected. So listen to it whenever time permits. Don't miss it, because you will miss like a beautiful space. What else? Oh, it's already time. So Chidulas, thank you for your questions.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Last one, Aditi ji.
हर हर महादेव। अगर लेट हो गए तो नेक्स्ट टाइम पूछ लीजिए।
So you can, urgent nahi hai na question, so it can be halted for next week. Done. Thank you. Because some
Yes.
people awakening सुन के सो गए हैं, so that's the challenge with us.
नहीं, उससे रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन था एक्चुअली, और अवेकनिंग वाला।
No, you should
नेक्स्ट टाइम।
respect that part of time as well, Aditi. So thank you
Yes.
for understanding. But next time you raise the hand first.
Yes.
Okay. So thank you all, and Hari Bhai will give you a tour of the house now. You can see हरि भाई और गौतम बुद्ध ये दोनों से अलग नहीं हो सकते। अब हरि भाई सामने बैठे तो गौतम बुद्ध पीछे लाइट जला के बैठे हैं। देखो, आपो दीपो भवो हमने सुना था, यहाँ पे हरि भाई के घर में देख रहे हैं। So Hari bhai, are you going to give a? We saw like in the earlier there used to come a serial, or that was Smriti Irani, or what's her name? She ऐसे लेके आती थी, अपने घर में आओ मैं दिखाती हूँ।
नहीं महाराज जी, उसके लिए थोड़ा टाइम है। सो स्टिल बोलते अभी थोड़ा काम है, मे बी नेक्स्ट वीक।
ओके, चलो इंतजार कर देंगे। अब अदिति जी प्रश्न लेके इंतजार कर सकते हैं तो हम भी इंतजार कर ही लेंगे, बट उससे पहले हम ही आ जा रहे हैं। ओके, चलो, तो थैंक यू ऑल। I didn't know like I could like as geometry, mathematics, history, physics, geography, everything. Wow. But thank you for your queries, and Sumaji, ask the kids to ask further questions, because confusion will lead to clarity. Okay. Thank you all. कोशिश करते हैं आभा जी ने जो कार्यक्रम दिया है हमें, क्या कर पाए। Till we meet again this Sunday morning. Aham Brahmasmi Tattvam Asi.